So I'm making a subway horror game.
Oh shit.
Because apparently, my brain looked at public transportation and said, yeah, this needs more psychological damage. The idea is simple. You are a subway driver. You arrive at stations, look at the platform, and decide, do I open the doors and take the passengers? Or do I skip the station because something looks extremely not normal? Basically, it's an anomaly game. But instead of walking through the same hallway 800 times, you are trapped inside a train cab, underground, judging strangers from behind glass and the CCTV cameras. Which is already what subway drivers do, I think. I don't know. Please don't sue me, subway drivers. So first, I created a brand new Unity project. Fresh start, clean scene. No bugs, no cursed code, no emotional baggage, for about 12 seconds. Then I started blocking out the game with cubes. I made a placeholder train, a placeholder station, and a placeholder tunnel. Everything was made out of cubes, because cubes are the building blocks of both game development and developer depression. And honestly, it looked incredible. If you are legally blind. But that's fine, because the goal was not to make it pretty yet. The goal was to test the core idea. Train goes forward, train stops at station. Player makes decision, train continues. That's the game. That's the whole thing. So to make it feel a little more horror, I changed the sky to dark, removed the lights. And suddenly, the scene went from Unity test project to place where your uncle disappears in a dream. Very nice. But now, I couldn't see anything, which is usually a problem in video games. So I added a tiny light inside the driver cabin. That one small light made everything feel way better. Now you're sitting in this dark cab, moving through a black tunnel with only a little bit of light around you. Very cozy, very safe. Nothing bad will happen here, definitely. Next, I needed the train to actually move between stations. So I made a system where the train travels through the tunnel, reaches a station, stops, and then the next station spawns by itself. Because I don't want to manually place 400 stations. I have things to do, like breaking the game in more creative ways. The system sounded simple. Spawn station, move train, stop train, choose action, spawn next station, repeat. Easy. So I wrote the code, pressed play, and it immediately did something stupid. The train stopped in the wrong place, the station spawned weird, and at one point, I'm pretty sure the train was trying to leave the genre entirely. But after a bit of bug fixing, it worked. The train could go from station to station automatically. The next station spawned when needed. The tunnel connected properly, and for the first time, the game had an actual loop. So naturally, I celebrated by staring at the screen like, wait, did I just make progress? Very suspicious. Now that the train could move, I needed the player to control it. So I added buttons inside the driver cabin. One button opens the doors, the other button skips the station and moves the train forward. That's it. 2 buttons. A horror game controlled by the world's most stressful elevator panel. So I wrote the interaction code, and somehow it worked. If the player chooses to open the doors, the game registers that decision. If the player chooses to skip, the train moves on. Which means now the player can finally make bad decisions. And that is where game design begins. Now I needed the anomaly system, because right now, every station was normal. And that's not horror, that's just commuting. So I made a system where each station starts as a standard default station. Then the game can apply anomalies on top of it. The cool part is that the anomalies are picked from pools. So I can have different groups of anomalies, customize their parameters, and let the system choose what to use. For example, how many anomalies can appear? Which anomaly pool should be used? Is this station supposed to be safe or unsafe? What is the correct answer? Then the player makes a choice. If they choose correctly, the station count goes up. If they choose wrong, the count goes back to 0. Because nothing says fun like losing all progress because you trusted a weird man in a subway station. So I tested the anomaly system, and somehow, it worked. The game could generate a station, decide if it has an anomaly, apply it, check the player's answer, and update the progress. Which means the core game was now playable. Ugly, but playable. And that's basically indie game development. If it works and looks terrible, you're halfway there. Now I needed the game to look less like a school project made during lunch break. So I opened Blender. Because I thought, how hard can it be to make some PSX-style props? And the answer is yes, very. I tried modeling some stuff myself, a bench, some station props, maybe some little environment details. And every single thing looked like it had been created by a raccoon with a keyboard. I respect Blender artists so much because I opened Blender, moved 3 vertices, and immediately started questioning my career. So after failing miserably, I did what every honorable indie developer does. I searched online for assets, I looked for PSX model packs, and I kept finding either models that didn't fit, licenses that were weird, or packs that looked like they were made for a completely different game called Haunted Potato Farm 2. But then, I found a PSX character pack, and it had a CCO license, which means free, commercial use. So obviously I yoinked it, respectfully, very legally, very professionally. Then I needed actual subway and station models. So I searched for PSX subway assets, and I found one that looked really good, but it was paid, which hurt. Because as an indie developer, every purchase is like, do I buy this asset pack or do I eat tomorrow? But it looked worth it, so I bought it. And suddenly the game had actual visuals, a real train, a real station, real subway vibes. No longer just cubes pretending to have dreams. But of course, the models didn't perfectly fit my game, because why would anything be easy? The station had 2 sides, but I only needed one side. The other side had to be a wall. So I modified the station, deleted what I didn't need, moved things around, adjusted the layout, and made it work for my game. Then there was the train. The train looked good, but it didn't have a driver cabin, which is a small problem in a game where you play as the driver inside the driver cabin. Tiny issue. So I had to create the driver cabin myself.
2,000 years later.
I modified the train, built the cabin area, adjusted the front section, made space for the controls, and tried to make it look like it belonged there. And honestly, it worked. Kind of good enough. The most powerful phrase in game development. Place the station, place the train, adjusted the tunnel, moved the camera, changed the scale, fixed the positions, fixed them again, then fixed the fix. And finally, it worked. The train was inside the station. The cab view felt right. The tunnel looked dark. The station looked creepy. And the prototype suddenly stopped looking like a crime scene and started looking like an actual game. Huge moment. I almost felt like a professional. Now that the game looked decent, it was time to add the first real anomaly. And I wanted something simple. A creepy guy. He appears when you are not looking, starts breathing creepily, and if you look at him, he suddenly disappears with a jump scare sound. Simple, tiny, psychologically annoying. Perfect. So first, I needed a monster. The PSX character pack had several creepy options, but I don't want to show all of them because some of them might be used later. I don't want to spoil the entire game in the first devlog like a genius. So I picked one creepy little guy, very polite, very disgusting, great posture, terrible aura, then I implemented the anomaly. I created a custom anomaly class for it, inheriting from the main anomaly system. So every anomaly can have its own behavior, but still work inside the same framework, which sounds smart. For this anomaly, I added custom spawn locations. That means I can choose specific places where the monster is allowed to appear. Behind a pillar, at the end of the platform, near the wall. Somewhere the player might miss at first. Then I needed the sound. So I created a custom jump scare sound. Then I added the creepy breathing. Because nothing improves a subway station like a random man breathing like he just ran a marathon in hell. I put everything together. Spawn logic, breathing audio, look detection, disappear behavior, jump scare sound. Then I pressed play. The train arrived at the station, I looked around, and nothing. Then I looked away, looked back, and there he was. Just standing there, breathing, existing, ruining the entire vibe. Then I looked at him, and boom! He disappeared. Jump scare sound played, and for the first time, the game actually scared me a little, which is great, because if the developer gets jump scared by his own unfinished spaghetti code, that means we are doing something right. So now adding new anomalies should be much easier, in theory. And whenever a developer says in theory, that means something terrible is about to happen. Finally, the game needed post-processing. Because right now it looked good, but not quite PSX enough. So I found a free PSX post-processing setup and added it to the project. And, it's okay. I don't fully love it yet. It gives the game some retro flavor, but I still want to tweak it later. Maybe less pixelation, maybe more color grading, maybe less crunchy haunted VHS energy. But for now, it's good enough. There it is again, the sacred phrase, good enough. And that brings us to the current version. We have stations that spawn automatically, we have buttons to open doors or skip, we have an anomaly system, we have actual PSX style models, we have a custom driver cabin. And we have our first creepy guy anomaly. So the core game is officially working. It's still early, it still needs more anomalies, more polish, better audio, better visuals, better everything. But the idea is there. You drive, you stop, you observe, you decide open the doors or move on. Also, the Steam page is already up, so if this looks interesting, you can wishlist the game right now. It helps a lot, and it tells Steam, hey, maybe show this weird subway anxiety simulator to more people. Also, if you have any good anomaly ideas, write them in the comments. Weird station events, and subtle things that would make someone question if they should open the doors. So yeah, thank you for watching, thank you for bearing with me, and I hope to see you on the next devlog with new updates. See you later!